Hello and welcome to our first On the Sofa interview of 2014. And I'm delighted to welcome Kamal Hyman here with us today. Kamal I've known for a number of years as a student in Peterborough and was the first president of the Peterborough Youth Parliament and was given the honour of carrying the torch for the London Olympics when it passed through Peterborough. Welcome, Kamal.
Thanks very much.
Okay, Kamal, can you start off by explaining what you are doing here today?
So today I'm here to inspire and motivate your students, which means we had a massive assembly this morning where it was just high energy and we're talking about success, kind of defining what success is, speaking to the young people about their attitudes towards exams, their attitudes towards having potential to do well and how to turn that potential into actual results. So yeah, we spent the assembly doing that, and now we're working in smaller workshops to really dig into what it is they want, where they see themselves in like the next 5 years, and what they can start doing now in order to make sure that becomes a reality.
And how have you found the students today?
It's been really fun. The students are really fun. It's been really interesting because you've got some who are really specific, they know exactly what they want, which is awesome. And then you've got some who kind of haven't got an idea, but they know what they love to do. So with them, we're kind of sitting down, we're talking about what they're passionate about, and then figuring out what career that can lead to. So we had one young lady who was really into her media, really loved media, but wasn't sure the specific career. So we kind of sat down and listed all the things she could do, and it was kind of an eye-opener for her. So it's been really powerful.
Now your strapline, which you clearly display on your T-shirt there, is aim a little higher.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the whole aim a little higher message is, I see a lot of motivational speakers and they're like, go and chase your dreams, be the best. And for me, I think it's unrealistic and almost unfair to go into a group of young people and say, be the best. Because some students aren't, academics aren't their main thing. Some students, BTECs aren't their main thing. So everyone's got their own ability. So my thing about aiming a little higher is just taking whatever your current goals are and then just working that little bit harder. So today we had students who said, I'm aiming for a C. So my aim a little higher is actually, you want the C, why don't you work as if you want a B? Why don't you work hard for that B, start studying for the B? And one, you might surprise yourself, or two, you'll end up with the C, which is what you're aiming for anyway. So it's all about individuals just doing those little things that make the huge difference. So, spend an hour revising instead of saying revise for 3 hours because it's unrealistic. Turn up to one lesson on time a week, start to gradually put it in. Do 10 push-ups tonight, and then 15 tomorrow, and then 20 tomorrow. So aiming a little higher is just more practical, more realistic, and
realistic goals.
Yeah, precisely,
Okay.
and just improving day by day.
Now, clearly, you've got a lot of energy and you bring a lot of energy to your motivational speaking. What inspired you to be a motivational speaker?
Wow. For me, I went to I've always been into personal development. My mum's a life coach. My dad, works with young people as well. So they've always been really positive for me. And I never quite understood why other students weren't the same. I'm always like really high energy, really positive, like I can do anything. And other people are very like, oh, that's not realistic. And I was like, what does that mean, And I realised that I was just really blessed with how I was brought up. And for people who don't have that kind of upbringing, they need someone to be in there telling them, do you know what, you can do more than you think you can if you just work for it, or there's more in the world available for you if you go out and get it. So for me, it was like, I want to be that voice to go into and speak to these students and really communicate that with them, because there aren't many teachers who are our similar age group. So I'm 19, so I can speak to the 16-year-olds, and I've been there a few years ago, literally. They know what I've been through. Yeah. And I just wanted to be that voice. Kind of like, when I come in, I'm like your older brother. I play more of an older brother role, kind of, to all the students, rather than the you versus us. Yeah. We're all in together.
And one of the reasons, of course, that we brought you in was exactly that, so that students could relate to somebody like you and hopefully be inspired and motivated by you. You've now been talking up and down the country to a number of schools and students in schools. What's the response been like?
It's actually really amazing. I haven't had any situations where I haven't been welcomed. And I think it is purely because of, one, the age group, and two, the way I open. With my speeches, I don't do the formal assembly thing where everyone's sat down. There's music playing as you're coming in, I'm shaking people's hands as they walk in, and it's just high energy. You're shouting back, you're shouting out, you're standing up, you're playing games. And for me, it's just that element of fun, the element of energy with a serious message behind it has worked, all over. I mean, I spoke in Blackpool, Birmingham, I was in the Isle of Wight in December, and it's just generally, if you can come in with that much energy,
Yeah.
they kind of reciprocate it.
Good. And what about you yourself, Kamal? You say you're only 19. What's your aspirations and what's your ambitions?
For me personally, I want to develop this Aim a Little Higher brand internationally. So my dream is to speak in America. I really would love to get over to America and do this within the schools over there. And then just eventually build this brand, so to a stage where I can train other young people to go out and do the same thing. And yeah, just make it international, reach a lot more people. And my dream is to travel the world. I love traveling. And for me, if I could travel the world while inspiring young people from different countries, that would be the most fulfilling life ever. So that's my personal goal, to be an international motivational speaker.
Well, I'm sure that our young people today have learnt a lot, and hopefully the knock-on effect, but that they will be inspired, they will be motivated, not only to achieve GCSE results, but to aim that little bit higher in the aspirations that they have for their life. Who knows, we may have just had on our sofa an international motivational speaker, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more of Kamal in years to come. Great pleasure to meet you today, great pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.